Hey gang, there are so many important issues to discuss in today's political, cultural, and economic climate, and I can't discuss them all here. In fact, YouTube and big tech won't let me talk about it all here. And that's why I have exclusive, uncensored live streams on Monday nights to cover everything. On Monday nights, I share all my thoughts and answer your questions in an in-depth, casual format that prepares you for this upcoming election with the truth. Today, I want to show you a quick clip from a recent stream that I hope will help you think clearly about these important issues, as well as encourage you to join our movement. Join an upcoming exclusive live stream, and I'll answer your questions by clicking the link in the description below and joining our community of courageous patriots building a parallel economy. I look forward to seeing you over there.
William O'Toole, who is a longtime Insiders member, I'm so glad you're here, William. He says, Dr. Steve, Merry Christmas. Does the Democratic Party do a full implode at the convention? And what do they do if this occurs?
Okay, so people are talking about this. This is very, very interesting. Even the New York Times is starting to get very, very nervous here. So Biden does seem to be dilapidating very quickly. You probably saw him when he was with those world leaders, and he just didn't even know. It looked like he didn't even know where he was. Check out. I think it's my second video today on that. It's the very first clip there, unless YouTube is demonetized. Well, they've already demonetized them. Maybe they've taken it down. I don't know. But so they need somebody else. But the problem is everyone else polls worse than Biden. Gruesome Newsom polls worse. Remember, he's not even that popular in California. Cackles doesn't even appear. Cackles Kamala, she would be a joke, and they all know that. A lot of people are afraid of Michelle Obama, but as I've seen it, Michelle Obama actually does not poll very well. Nobody sees her as a president. I mean, hardcore Democrats do, but not independents, certainly not Republicans. So, and then that would be very hard even for a Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney to actually support Michelle Obama, for heaven's sake. So they don't have anybody else. So, they're only going with Biden, but he may not last. So we might come to the summer, say August or whenever they're having their convention. He may not last. And then what is it? What's going to happen? There'll be a backroom deal of some kind. I'm sure I almost guarantee it's going to be Gruesome Newsom with that meeting with President Xi a couple of weeks back and the like. But do you think the progressive wing of the party is going to go along with that? Right? Do you think the squad's going to go along with that? And like, so I'm with you. I think this has and especially with this Israeli-Hamas conflict, where the two factions, the liberal and the progressive faction of the party, is now really at each other's throats, threatening each other. You have Democrat lawyers and high-powered firms getting the actual names of students at Columbia and Harvard who called for an intifada and sided with the Palestinians in their protests. They want their names to permanently blacklist them from ever getting any positions in their law firms. You've got that, and then you've got the pro-Palestinian Arab American organizations that are promising Biden, threatening better, that they will actively fight against him. They will actively work to make sure he doesn't win if he doesn't broker a ceasefire immediately between Israel and Hamas. So they're in dire straits. There's no question. Republicans, this is what I can't understand about Ronna McDaniel. Romney McDaniel, as we like to call her. I just can't understand why she just doesn't look at all of these candidates for these single-digit midgets and say, guys, this isn't happening. This is a blowout. This is embarrassing. Let's just rally around Trump together. And so I can raise money again. As you saw, the RNC has less money than it's had, I believe, in 40 years because of Ronna McDaniel's mismanagement. Instead of backing Trump, she's backing these stupid debates that nobody's even watching. So that said, Republicans are in an infinitely stronger position right now as a party than the Democrats are. But first, gang, with more and more economic libertarians winning at the ballot box, gold and silver are more valuable today than ever. There's simply never been a better time to get into gold and silver than right now as we speak. And that's why I partnered with the amazing company Goldco, because I know the patriots there are ready to help you and guide you at a time just like this. So go ahead and click on that link below right now and get your very own gold and silver kit absolutely free. That's right. This gold and silver kit shows you how to get into precious metals tax-free and penalty-free, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or 401k. And get this, you may already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. I told you they're patriots just like us, and they're here to help. You've seen the writing on the wall. Don't wait until it's too late, gang. Defend your financial freedom by clicking on that link below right now and getting your free gold and silver kit today.
All right, this is from Ray Hall. He says, can you provide a date about, I think that's what he's saying, a date about Giorgia Maloney of Italy and her alignment with the globalist EU? A date.
A date. I'm not sure what you mean by a
An update. An update.
Oh, an update is an update. Okay, an update of George Maloney and her alignment with the Okay, all right. Yeah, because a lot of us have been very disappointed with Maloney on the immigration issue, although she's now getting more and more allies, especially with the latest Netherlands election with Geert Wilders and the Dutch Freedom Party winning a blowout election. I mean, they won in a parliament that gets 15, 16 parties. They hit almost 25, 26% of the vote. That's a blowout election in the Netherlands. So she's getting help there, help from the Sweden Democrats, help with the True Finns who've taken power in Finland, help obviously from Viktor Orban. So and we'll see what happens in Spain with Pedro Sanchez. I think even supporters of Pedro Sanchez, the socialists who got voted out, but then did a backroom deal with the Catalonian separatists to remain in power. So in many ways, people were saying it was basically a coup where he's more or less threatening the dismemberment of Spain just so he can stay in power. So I think you're going to see the rise of the Vox Party and in Spain like never before. And you're going to see, we continue to see the amazing rise of ADF, the Alternative for Deutschland in Germany. So the wind is going to be at her back on this issue, particularly of immigration. The problem Maloney has is the problem all of these nationalist populist parties have in Europe, and it's the problem of neo-medievalization. Some call it neo-feudalization, but it's slightly different in Europe. The term it's been called is neo-medievalization, and that is there is a new kind of Holy Roman Empire that exists, and it's called the EU. And the EU calls the shots when it comes to issues of immigration. The EU, because of the Schengen Protocol there, the EU calls the shots when it comes to immigration. Viktor Orban got in a lot of trouble, as did the Law and Justice Party in Poland, got in a lot of trouble with the EU, the bullies in Brussels, by pushing back on immigration. Oh, by the way, the latest Prime Minister, Fico, in Slovakia, he's a populist, a nationalist populist leftist, believe it or not. He's more socialist in his economics, but he wants closed borders. He doesn't want Muslims in. As a matter of fact, he's returned to power. The last time he was in power, he refused Muslims. He would only take Middle Eastern Christians because he claimed there were no mosques in Slovakia, so there was no point for a Muslim to come, but there were plenty of churches there. So he just won re-election in a landslide. So he's back at Fico is back in power in Slovakia. So the EU is having to contend with this growing nationalist populist dynamic that where the population is basically turning their back on the bullies in Brussels. Not formally, they haven't pulled their own Brexit, but Giorgia Maloney, for whatever reason, believed it was better to play along with them and appease them with immigration, while at the same time trying to bring tremendously Christian conservative domestic policies like tax relief for families, for having children, making it illegal for LGBT to adopt, and things like that, which is, by the way, is at regional levels. She's just sort of putting her muscle behind that. She's very pro-life. She's focusing primarily on that. But now, with more and more nations turning to the nationalist populist right, particularly Geert Wilders said they were getting rid completely of their asylum program. You're not allowed to seek asylum in Netherlands right now. You have to go to another European country. You can't come to the Netherlands as a result of Geert Wilders being able to put his policies in place. I mean, with that kind of power behind her, that nationalist populist power, hopefully that will encourage her to do more of the right thing and push back as well. They need a coalition so that if the bullies in Brussels pick on one, like Viktor Orban, all of the or Giorgia Maloney, all of these other nations will come together and form sort of like a red state coalition and push back themselves. But right now, unfortunately, every single member of the EU is de facto in occupied territory right now. There is a Holy Roman Empire administration that calls the shots on issues of immigration. And rather than try to fight back against that, Giorgia Maloney, because everyone who does gets basically punished. The only one who's been able to survive thus far is Viktor Orban. Even the Law and Justice Party in Poland ended up getting defeated in their last elections. They won the most. They won high 30%, 40% of the vote, but not enough to form a coalition. So the left-wing parties are all coming together, the pro-EU parties, to form a coalition. So the bullies in Brussels make it very, very difficult on you. So George, that's my understanding and explanation of what's happened to Giorgia Maloney. I hope you enjoyed that clip of my Monday night Insiders Club live stream. Join us live next week by clicking on the link in the description below and joining the coalition of patriots worldwide, building a parallel economy to return to our roots of faith, family, and freedom. Click below right now.